Born from the thunder of the smoke of two gigantic world wars, also made for the Secret Service slipping down alleyways to hunt villains. This is a multi-tool filled with history everyone should know about. And now you will. This is the Almar 4x4. Now, one of the first ancestors of this tool is actually the rare Joseph Rogers British World War II military tool. You hardly ever see that around anymore. It goes for almost $2,000 when it does hit the open market, but it's an incredible tool. And with the pictures on the screen, you can tell that the cutting head was actually made to cut barbed wire. Now, in the description of some of these tools, it said that it was actually released pre-World War I, so it is a very old tool. You'll notice it has the bolt in the middle for the pliers. It does have the handle, sort of like this one right here, and then it does have a couple of knife blades, and then the one is meant for, I believe, opening cans. So you do have a can opener, which to this day sort of remains a staple of many multi-tools. Now, this multi-tool would have been used or would have been nice to use in trench warfare. Different people have thought that it was used by the British soldiers in trench warfare, also to open their cans of Spam. So this is the World War I precursor to the Almar 4x4. Also, some of the tools probably like one of the first SOGs as well. Here we have the SOG tool clip, and you can see some of the similarities in this design and then in the Joseph Rogers we just showed you on the screen. Some of these design cues last for years and years in the multi-tool world. Now, the next picture of an older multi-tool you see on the screen is actually the M19. It was developed for the OSS, or sort of like the British Special Forces in World War II, an escape and evasion tool. This on the head, again, has some blades for cutting barbed wire. Then it also has a knife blade, several hacksaw blades, a lock breaker, a screwdriver, and a lever on this side right here. It was meant also to slash tires with some of its tools. So it was meant as a multi-tool of destruction in the dark alleyways of World War II. Definitely a different multi-tool meant for sabotage and use to escape and so forth. So pretty cool tool right there. This tool actually brings prices from $2,000 to $6,000. So it's a very expensive tool. Very rarely shows up on eBay or anywhere else. It's really hard to get your hands on it. If you ever see it at a yard sale, pick it up. Now, one of the first things we'll focus on the Almar 4x4 toolmate is the pliers. These are unique in that they are definitely not needle nose pliers, but you might be hard pressed really to call them blunt pliers as well, because they're a little bit small. They're not extremely, I guess there's a little bit of flat there on the top, but we have the wire cutters as well. They are a very unique set of pliers, definitely reminiscent of years in the past of multi-tool making. Then we do have this leather wrapped arm right here as well, and then this right here fits into here to lock the plier handle in place. Now, on my particular one right here, you can see that it's sort of like riveted, I guess, together. I think in some versions there was actually a place where it was more like screwed together. There are several different versions of the Almar. This is the basic version. There's a much more expensive version where on the handles right here, they're actually inscribed by the scriber who actually worked on Colt firearms as well. So that's a lot more expensive version that runs you more like $300 to $600 on eBay. Now, when we look at the tools inside the handle, we have this serrated blade right here. These are non-locking tools in the handle. Again, these are made from Japan right there. Now, on the other side, we have the file and the screwdriver. That's something that continues even to this day. A lot of people don't like that. I don't really care for that combination, but it definitely has history in the past. Then we do have this knife as well, right here. Then on the other side, if we unlock this plier handle, we do actually have a Phillips screwdriver, which shows that it's a little bit newer than some of the other tools, especially with that Phillips screwdriver right there. One of the things I really appreciate about the Almar is that it is a very lightweight tool. So this tool right here only weighs 7.8 ounces or 219 grams. It's only 3/4 of an inch thick or 19 millimeters thick. It's 145 millimeters long or 5 inches and 5 3/4 inches long. It is a longer tool than like a Wave or even a Surge, but it is a lighter tool because it doesn't have as many tools and it is more of a streamlined tool as well. So that is something that's a little bit fascinating when we look at some of these older designs. Now you can still find these fairly easily on eBay. Usually they're about $150 for this plain version or $170. That's around the like buy it now option. I found this for about $100. If you wait for months and months and keep looking, you can find a really good deal on these sometimes. Now, the expensive one with all the inscriptions on it, again, that goes from somewhere around $300 to $600 usually, somewhere around there, maybe a little bit more sometimes. And also, I ran across on Multi-Tool, their Multi-Tool Encyclopedia from multitool.org. They have a really interesting attachments or related knives to this. Almar actually made a quick clip, which I have never seen. I've never seen except just where they talk about on here. And it's actually a small version of this with essentially it looks like almost just a knife. So very interesting tool. Again, never seen that in person. The one with all the inscriptions is the Valade tool, I guess, Valade. That's a beautiful knife when you look at it on eBay. Now, a lot of people call this actually a lot better tool than Leatherman. They consider that it has a lot better craftsmanship. It is a fairly smooth knife. I do grant you that, but because of its older design, I guess it's great because of its history. That's what I like the best about it, but I do not really care for the design as much as some of the newer models. So I would much rather to carry a Leatherman PST, but this definitely does have some beautiful character to it and definitely a great history.